All right, get ready, because we're taking a deep dive into the world of vibes. You know that feeling you get, whether it's good or bad, from like a person or a place.
Mm-hmm.
You sent us this YouTube video, You'll Never Mock Vibrations Again, and
Yeah.
let's just say the title really grabbed our attention.
Yeah, I know. That's quite a title.
We're ready to unpack this whole thing, explore the science behind it, and maybe even have a few aha moments along the way. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds fun. It's interesting how this video tries to connect like ancient wisdom with modern science, you know?
Yeah.
Like bridging the gap between feeling someone's energy and like the actual electromagnetic fields we all generate.
Right.
It's a concept that's been around for centuries, like in different cultures, but this video is trying to give it like a scientific basis.
So the video just jumps right in, claiming that our thoughts and emotions, right,
Hmm.
create an electromagnetic field around us. It's almost like our own personal energy bubble.
Yeah, like an aura almost.
And that this field can impact our health and maybe even like influence the world around us. They even mentioned picoteslas, which sounds super sciencey.
Right.
But before we get too lost in all the technical stuff, what's the main idea here?
Well, the core idea, I think, is that we're not just physical beings. You know, we also emit energy, and this energy can interact with the world around us.
Yeah.
The video goes into like how our brains and our hearts generate these electromagnetic fields.
Okay, so everyone knows, like, our brains are buzzing with electrical activity, right?
Yeah.
But the video is saying the heart's magnetic field is actually thousands of times stronger.
Yeah, that's right. The heart's magnetic field is created by like the flow of blood, the electrical signals of each heartbeat, and the difference in electrical charge between the top and bottom of the heart. It's really fascinating because this field, it's not just contained within our body, you know?
Yeah.
It extends outward. It could potentially reach like up to 12 feet.
12 feet. So it's
Oh,
like our hearts are like these little, like, beacons of energy radiating outwards.
Yeah, exactly.
This makes me think about those times you walk into a room and you can just feel the energy,
Yeah, like immediately.
like good or bad. Maybe that's not just like in our imagination.
Right.
What do you think?
It's certainly possible. The video suggests that this energy or vibe isn't just some like vague feeling. It's actually rooted in frequencies.
Yeah.
Everything in the universe, you know, vibrates at its own unique rate.
So we have a frequency, our organs have frequencies,
Yeah.
even inanimate objects have frequencies.
Exactly.
I'm starting to understand where this whole like good vibes, bad vibes idea comes from.
Right.
So is the video saying that like some frequencies are inherently healthier than others?
Yeah, that's one of the claims. It links lower frequencies with disease and illness. It even mentions this guy, Dr. Royal Rife,
Okay.
who believed you could disrupt pathogens by targeting them with like specific frequencies.
So like, okay, so like if we're constantly like,
Mm-hmm.
bombarded with stress or negative news or just bad vibes in general,
Mm-hmm.
could that be lowering our own frequency
Yeah,
and like making us more susceptible to getting sick?
that's exactly what it's proposing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then on the other hand, it suggests that positive emotions like love, joy, and gratitude,
Yeah.
they create harmonious heart rhythms. And this boosts our frequency and our overall well-being. Just think about a time when you felt truly joyful. Like, how did your body feel?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like when I'm stressed, I feel all like heavy and sluggish. But when I'm happy, I feel light and energized. It's like my whole being's like fine. Now, they talked about this amazing concept of cells communicating,
Yeah.
like a network of computers, constantly sending messages to keep our bodies working.
It's mind-blowing.
Can you like paint a picture of that? What does that actually look like?
Okay, so imagine trillions of tiny cells.
Trillions.
Each one like a sophisticated little computer,
Wow.
constantly sending and receiving signals,
And what are they doing?
coordinating everything: growth, repair, immune response.
Wow.
The fascinating part is that this communication, it's not just rigid instructions.
No.
There's actually a lot of flexibility in how cells respond to different signals,
Like what?
like chemotaxis.
Chemotaxis.
Yeah, they talked about it in the video.
Right, where the white blood cells use chemotaxis to get to an infection.
Yes, it's like they have a GPS.
Right.
They follow a chemical trail to get to where they're needed.
Wow. And then there's autophagy,
Oh, yeah, autophagy.
where cells recycle their own parts to survive.
It's like they're resourceful little creatures.
Right. Doing whatever it takes to keep going.
And keep our bodies going.
It's a level of intelligence we often just don't even think about.
We just don't think about it.
Right.
We see cells as these like passive building blocks,
Yeah.
but they're doing all these complex things.
That's
You
amazing.
can't deny there's some serious intelligence going on there.
So recognizing that our cells are intelligent changes how you view the human body.
It totally does. It's not just a machine.
Right.
It's a community of intelligent life.
Working together.
Working together, yeah. And it makes you want to treat your body differently,
How so?
with respect. Like a partner in your health,
I like that.
not something to be controlled.
Right.
Understanding how they communicate, how they adapt, we can make choices that help them do their job.
Support them.
Yeah.
This is so fascinating.
Isn't it?
And there's still so much more.
I know.
Like cellular memory.
Oh, yes.
The idea that cells store memories
Like little hard drives.
of our experiences.
It's wild. This is where epigenetics comes in.
Epigenetics, okay.
It explores how our experiences can change how our genes express themselves.
Oh, so it's not just our genes.
It's not just the genes themselves.
But how they're expressed.
Right. And those experiences,
Okay.
both good and bad,
Ah.
they can leave a mark on our cells.
Really?
And potentially even affect future generations.
So you mean like trauma
Trauma
can be embedded in our cells?
is a powerful idea.
It is. It brings up all these questions about how these cellular memories are affecting us.
Right. And this is where things get even more interesting.
Even more interesting.
Because we're going to start talking about quantum mechanics
Okay.
to explain these mind-body things.
Quantum mechanics, that's a whole other can of
Yes,
worms.
it is.
They hinted in the video that it could be the key to understanding things like the placebo effect
The placebo effect.
and even consciousness.
I know, so much to talk about.
Okay, so much to unpack here. Why don't we take a break
Okay.
and let these ideas sink in?
Yeah, good idea.
We'll be back soon to explore more about this connection between the mind, the body, and the quantum realm. Stay tuned.
Welcome back.
It really makes you rethink how experiences shape us.
It does.
But before we go too deep into like the philosophy of it all,
Yeah.
let's bring it back to some practical stuff.
Okay.
The video mentioned that understanding cellular intelligence could lead to new approaches for health and well-being.
Right.
What would that look like?
Well, instead of just treating symptoms,
Right.
it means supporting the body's own ability to heal.
Taking a more holistic view.
So considering more than just the physical body.
Exactly. The emotional, mental, even spiritual aspects.
So creating an environment where our cells can thrive.
Yes. Nourishing our bodies, healthy food, movement, positive emotions,
Makes sense.
reducing stress, finding peace and balance.
Yeah, if our cells are intelligent beings, they'd respond better to that kind of support, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, but hold on.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on this quantum mechanics thing.
Oh, yeah.
The video kept hinting that it could unlock even deeper mysteries of the mind-body connection.
It's a fascinating area.
Where do we even start with that?
Well, one of the core principles of quantum mechanics is that the observer actually influences the system being observed.
What?
It's called the observer effect.
Okay.
So imagine shining a light on a tiny particle.
Okay.
The act of observing it with the light actually changes its behavior.
That's so strange.
It is.
So are you saying that our awareness, our consciousness, could
Yeah.
actually be influencing our bodies at the quantum level? It's a crazy concept, but that's what some scientists are suggesting.
Really?
There's a theory that these tiny structures in our brain cells,
Okay.
called microtubules,
Microtubule.
they might be acting as quantum computers.
Quantum computers in our brains.
It's like they're orchestrating our consciousness.
I gotta admit, this is starting to sound a little sci-fi to me.
I know, it's pretty out there.
Can we bring it back down to earth a bit?
Sure, let's talk about the placebo effect.
Okay.
It's well documented that people can heal just because they believe they're getting a treatment.
Right, even if it's a sugar pill.
Exactly. So could that be consciousness, the act of believing, influencing the body at the quantum level?
So you're saying the power of a belief might not be so mystical after all.
It might have a real impact on our biology.
Wow.
Remember that story about the man who used visualization to get better?
Yeah.
What if his belief in healing was actually shifting his consciousness?
Yep.
And that influenced his cells at the quantum level.
That's powerful.
It is.
It makes you wonder if we've underestimated the power of our minds.
We might have.
The video even talked about our bodies being influenced by something called the quantum vacuum.
Ah, the quantum
Yeah,
vacuum.
what is that exactly?
It's like this sea of infinite possibilities.
Okay.
A realm where virtual particles are constantly popping in and out of existence.
Virtual particles, what are those?
Imagine a field of pure energy,
Okay.
a vast ocean of potential.
I'm trying to picture it.
And tiny bits of this energy briefly become particles
Okay.
and then dissolve back into the field almost instantly.
So they appear and disappear.
That's it. Those are virtual particles.
They come and go from this quantum vacuum.
Exactly. And they can actually affect the physical world.
Wow. So even emptiness is full of activity.
In a way.
And how does this relate to us, to our bodies?
Well, the idea is that we are not isolated systems.
Okay.
We're constantly exchanging information and energy with this quantum vacuum.
So we're connected to this field of infinite possibilities.
It's a profound idea.
It's a little scary, too.
It challenges our understanding of reality.
It does.
If it's true, it means we have access to a huge amount of information and energy.
That we're just starting to understand.
Exactly.
But if we are connected to it, how do we tap into it?
That's a great question.
Can we consciously influence this exchange of energy?
That's what researchers are trying to figure out.
Oh,
Some think ancient practices like meditation and energy healing could be the key.
really?
They might be ways to harmonize with the quantum vacuum
Interesting.
to tap into its healing potential.
So those traditions might be onto something much bigger than we thought.
It's a possibility.
It opens up a whole new way of looking at how our thoughts and beliefs interact with the quantum realm.
And how that affects our health.
This conversation is blowing my mind.
It's a lot to take in.
It makes me realize how little we actually know about the human body.
We're just scratching the surface.
It's both humbling and inspiring.
I agree.
We're living in a time of incredible scientific discovery. And as we explore these mysteries,
Yeah.
we might find that ancient wisdom and modern science are pointing to the same thing.
A new understanding of what it means to be human.
This deep dive has already changed my perspective on healing.
It's been a journey.
But before we get totally lost in the quantum realm, let's ground ourselves for a minute and think about what we've learned. Wow. This deep dive into mind-body connection has been a real trip.
It has.
We've covered so much.
So much.
Visualization, biofeedback, the intelligence of our cells, and then that whole quantum vacuum thing.
Yeah.
I have to admit, when I first started thinking about this topic, the quantum vacuum seemed a little...
Out there.
Yeah, a little out there.
I get it.
Even for me.
Yeah.
But the more we talk about it, the more it makes sense.
Right.
It's like this underlying energy field that connects everything.
It's a big shift in perspective.
It is. To think that we're not just isolated beings, but part of something much bigger.
A whole interconnected web.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm still trying to figure out how we actually apply this knowledge.
Okay.
If we're interacting with a quantum vacuum all the time,
Yeah.
how can we use that, to help ourselves be healthier and feel better?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
And we don't have all the answers yet,
Right.
but there are some clues,
Okay.
both from ancient wisdom and from modern science.
The video mentioned things like meditation and energy healing. Could those be ways to tap into the quantum vacuum?
So think about what happens when you meditate.
Okay.
You calm your mind.
Right.
You shift your brainwave patterns.
Right.
You're creating a more coherent state of being.
Okay.
And some researchers think that this coherence could make you more sensitive to the energies of the quantum vacuum.
So it's like tuning into a radio frequency.
Exactly. And just like a radio signal can transmit information, maybe a coherent state of consciousness lets you receive information and energy from the quantum vacuum.
And that could help with healing.
That's the idea.
That makes sense why people feel so grounded and centered after meditating.
And healthier.
And healthy.
And it's not just meditation.
Oh, yeah.
Energy healing practices like Reiki or Qigong,
Yeah.
they focus on these subtle energies too.
Right.
We don't totally understand how they work.
But they could be interacting with the quantum vacuum.
It's possible.
This is all pretty mind-blowing.
It is.
We've barely scratched the surface of what's possible when it comes to healing.
I think we're on the verge of a huge change in how we think about health and consciousness.
Really?
As we learn more about the quantum realm,
Yeah.
we might see that ancient wisdom and modern science are both telling us the same story.
It's exciting to be part of this discovery process.
It is.
We don't have all the answers,
Not yet.
but just asking these questions is opening up so many possibilities.
It is. And, you don't need to be a quantum physicist to tap into this mind-body connection.
That's good because yeah.
Me neither. But we can all start by paying attention to our thoughts,
Right?
cultivating positive emotions,
Yeah.
trying things like meditation or spending time in nature.
Those things can make a difference.
A big difference.
The key is to treat our bodies with respect,
Respect and curiosity.
to listen to what they're telling us.
That's it.
This deep dive has been incredible.
It has.
I feel both humbled and empowered.
That's great.
Humbled by how much we still don't know, but empowered by the fact that we have this potential to heal ourselves.
I love that. I hope this exploration has sparked your curiosity.
It really has.
Maybe inspired you to explore the mind-body connection yourself.
Thank you for guiding us through this.
My pleasure.
It's really changed how I think about what it means to be human.
That's what it's all about. Keep asking questions, keep looking for answers,
Bye.
and keep believing in the amazing potential we all have.
Great advice. Thanks again for joining me.
Thanks for having me.